Alright, WrestleMania night 2. Here we go. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Opening match: Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the World Heavyweight title. And during the entrances, you see Drew visibly wearing some scars and has his midsection taped up from the match on the previous night against Brock Lesnar. We then see Sami come down to the ring wearing his World Heavyweight title around his waist with Bronson Reed at his side. Bronson Reed and Drew are sharing words during the entirety of the announcer introducing Sami and Drew. Bronson exits the ring, but is still exchanging words with Drew. Why did I write it like that? Yeah, Drew and Bronson continue to exchange words up until the bell. The bell rings and Sami rushes across the ring and connects with a haluva kick immediately. Sami rushes into the pin, and the referee counts 1, 2. Just manages to get his shoulder up. Sami seems a bit stressed out that the haluva kick didn't get it done right away. He sits for a moment before picking Drew back up, placing him back in the corner. He then rushes across the ring and hits the turnbuckle before charging across the ring and connecting with a second haluva kick. He once again quickly goes for the cover. 1, 2. Drew once again gets his shoulder up. Sami's just pulling down on his hair and looks over to Bronson, wondering what to do next. Bronson yells at him to do it one more time, so Sami goes over, picks up Drew once again, and places him in the corner. Sami backs up and charges in, and just as he is about to hit, Drew drops down, and Sami is now stuck with his leg over the top rope. Sami finally manages to get his leg down when he turns around and Drew connects with the Glasgow Kiss. He then transitions into a future shock DDT. Drew covers Sami, but only gets a count of 2. Drew shakes his head at Sami kicking out and takes some time to recover from the 2 haluva kicks. Eventually, Drew gets to his feet and so does Sami. Once they both get up, they start exchanging blows in the middle of the ring. Drew wins the exchange and nails Sami with a headbutt. Sami staggers back into the referee as Drew goes to hit the ropes. As Drew hits the ropes, Bronson pulls down the top rope and Drew falls over it, falling to the outside. Sami, still tied up with the referee, allows Bronson then to hit a splash onto Drew. Bronson backs away from Drew as Sami exits the ring outside and starts to stomp away at him. After stomping away at Drew a few times, he picks him up. Sami then smashes Drew's head against the apron before making their way around to the announce table. Sami leans Drew up against the table before heading in to break the count. Once Sami breaks the count, he heads back out over to Drew, who grabs Sami and belly to belly suplexes him over the announce table. Drew then clears off the announce table before dragging Sami's bodies up on top of the table as well. Drew then slowly brings Sami into position for the future shock DDT. He then stares out to the crowd before going to the move. Once he connects with the move, the table does not break and Drew slowly rolls off as Sami just lays face down on it. Drew hobbles his way towards and into the ring to break the count himself before rolling back out. As Drew goes to head over to Sami, Drew goes to head back over to Sami when Bronson steps into his path. Bronson chews out Drew for a bit before Drew nails him with the Glasgow Kiss. Bronson falls back and is now laid out on the table somewhat on top of Sami. Drew looks at them and then looks back into the ring to the top rope. Drew shrugs his shoulders and heads back in and heads up top. Drew then looks out to the crowd before jumping off to nail Sami and Bronson with a splash. Bronson manages to shove Sami off to the to the side right as Drew is jumping off and takes a splash solely through the table. Sami is sitting up against the guardrail with a look of shock across his face as Bronson is seemingly unconscious and Drew is holding onto his ribs. Sami then gets up, grabs Drew, and throws him back into the ring. Sami soon follows, but as he gets in, Drew has already charged across the ring, and once Sami gets up, Drew is there to connect with the Claymore. Drew takes a moment to get into the cover as he is still recovering from the splash to Bronson. Drew eventually crawls over, gets into the cover. 1, 2. Sami just gets his shoulder up. Drew has this look of disbelief across his face as he is Drew has this look of disbelief across his face as he slowly makes his way to his feet and slowly picks up Sami. Just as Sami is about to be fully standing, he quickly picks Drew up and nails a blue thunder bomb. Sami goes for the pin, but once again only gets a count of 2. Sammy then attempts to pick Drew up quickly, but this deep into the match, the exhaustion is starting to set in, and it takes a bit more effort from earlier. Sammy gets Drew into the corner and goes to head across the ring, but just as he is about to walk across the ring, Drew grabs onto Sammy's hair. He then pulls him towards himself, and German suplexes Sammy into the corner. Drew then backs up across the ring and awaits Sammy to get to his feet. Once he does, he charges across the ring, and it seems like Drew is going to hit a haluva kick on his own, but Bronson gets up onto the apron. And instead of hitting Sammy, Drew hits Bronson with a big boot to knock him off the apron. Sammy then gets out of the corner and grabs Drew and nails an imploder suplex into the corner. Sammy then charges across the ring, and just as Drew gets up to his feet, Sammy charges in and nails a haluva kick. Before Drew can drop, Sammy catches him, sets him back up, once again charges across the ring, and comes back and hits Drew with yet another haluva kick. Drew collapses down to the mat, and Sammy just falls on top of him. The referee counts 1, 2. Drew just manages to get his shoulder up. Sammy seems like he is on the verge of tears as he has not put Drew away. Bronson then gets on the ropes and starts arguing with the referee about a slow count and how that was a 3. The referee gets fed up and throws Bronson out of the match. Sammy gets up and starts complaining to the referee about throwing Bronson out. Sammy eventually stops arguing and goes to turn back to Drew, who has gotten up and nails Sammy with a claymore. Drew then covers Sammy. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre wins the World Heavyweight title. For
I
I
have
believe the
myself
third
muted,
time.
but fucking I have myself muted, but when he kicked out of the fucking 2 haluva kicks in the corner, I said, no fucking way.
Drew's a machine.
Whew. All right, tag match, Bloodline rules. All right, all 4 men are standing in the ring when the bell rings. Jay and Roman glance at each other, then back to Jimmy and Rock. This is what it's all come down to, a story of betrayal and abandonment. It's all come down to this. Right away, Roman goes for Rock, Jay goes for Jimmy. We instantly get thrown to the outside and into the crowd as Roman and Rock bring the fight to the audience. Roman grabs a bucket of popcorn and shoves it onto Rock's face. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Jay are in the ring doing what they always do, taking turns super kicking each other. We cut back to Roman and Rock. We see Rock take a belt from a fan and start whipping Roman with it. It sounds like a shotgun going off. In the ring, Jimmy suicide dives to the outside and hits Jay into the barricade. Once Rock and Roman fight their way back ringside, Jimmy goes out to help Rock. Jay's knocked out right now. Roman is now getting pulled toward the ropes in the ring. Rock leaves Jimmy for a second to check under the ring. That's when we see him pull out handcuffs. He goes to the ring and handcuffs Roman to the ropes, just like he did at Payback all those months ago. Roman, now helpless, angrily yells at Rock to bring it. Rock laughs, shows him a key, and throws it to the other side of the ring. Rock and Jimmy start unloading with chair shots and super kicks and candlestick shots. Jay finally gets back up and takes down Jimmy with a spear. Rock goes to take him out, but Jay hits a super kick followed by a spear. Jay checks on Roman, starts looking for a key. He finds it. He goes to free him. As soon as he's about to free him, though, Solo comes in and hits him with a Samoan spike. He picks up Jay for another one, but that's when Mox's music hits. Solo drops Jay and looks at the entrance for Mox to come out, but he doesn't come from the entrance. He comes in from behind. Mox and Solo start fighting to the outside. This gives Jay enough time to free Roman. Mox gets a table under the ring, sets it up on the outside. Solo gets on the apron, trying to help Rock. When he feels it get really hot, he turns around and he sees Mox has lit the table on fire. He gets scared. He tries to go back in the ring, but Roman stops him. He can't go into the ring. Trapped between Mox and Roman, they both start beating him down. Mox, Jay, and Roman beat uh Mox, Jay, and Roman beat him down in the ring now. They pick him up and they shield powerbomb him to the outside threw the table on fire. Mox leaves. Roman turns around. Jimmy's about to attack when Jay hits a spear on Jimmy, followed by a splash. Jimmy rolls out. Rock stands up. He sees Roman and Jay staring at him. He tries to back away, but they keep getting closer. He quickly tries to leave the ring, but they pull him back in and start beating him down. Roman grabs the handcuffs and ties Rock to the ropes. Roman finally gets his revenge. He grabs a candlestick and starts unloading, shot after shot after shot. Rock's abdomen is bloody. Jay finally lands a super kick in there, and they release him. Jay stands up as Roman hits a. Jay stands Rock up. Jay stands Rock up as Roman hits a Superman punch on him. Then he picks him back up for Roman to hit him with a spear. Cover. One, two, three. Here are your winners and the new WWE Tag Team Champions, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
Solo was put through a flaming table, right?
Yep.
Okay. Poor Solo. It's, I'm here to help my family, not burn, bitch.
Made the wrong choice.
Help the wrong side of the family. Okay, we move on to a loser leaves match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. If CM Punk loses, Paul Heyman must resign as the general manager of SmackDown. Seth Rollins makes a grand entrance down to the ring, then Punk comes out and comes down to the ring with a bit disheveled Paul Heyman walking by his side. As Punk is about to enter the ring, he tells Paul that he will not let him down and enters the ring. Heyman enters the ring behind him, and as the announcer is introducing the rules of the match, Paul Heyman snatches the microphone and says, kind of in a panicky way, he announces that this match is now an Extreme Rules match. Paul exits the ring, and the bell sounds. Both Punk and Rollins show some restraint to start the match as neither man rushes in. They pace around the ring and allow the crowd to build before locking up in the middle. But both jockey for position as they push and pull one another around into the corner. Both men swap places a few times before Seth gets Punk leaned up against the corner and hits a chop across his chest. Seth takes a moment to taunt Heyman, telling him making this an Extreme Rules match was a terrible idea. He goes back in for another chop, but Punk ducks and hits a series of chops on his own. Punk is just wailing away with chops as Seth slowly crumbles down and Punk switches from chops to clubbing forearms. Eventually, Punk relents and lets out a yell as he looks out to the crowd. Punk tells Paul he's doing this for him and goes back to head over to Seth, who fires up and starts nailing Punk with punches. Seth eventually breaks up the punches with a kick to the gut and hits the ropes trying to hit a curb stomp. Punk picks Seth out of the air and goes for a GTS when Seth slides out of it and gets behind Punk. He then pushes Punk towards the ropes and rolling back, trying to roll up Punk. The ref starts to count 1, 2, kick out. Um, well, instead of not kick out, sorry. Seth barely gets a count of 2 from the roll up before Punk rolls back and gets Seth into a roll up and gets a count of 2 of his own. Um, they do this a few times over before they get close to the ropes and eventually just roll their way out of the ring. Neither man seemingly wanting to give up just start rolling around on the ground on the outside, trading punches. Both men keep trading until Punk pokes Seth in the eye, causing Seth to let go and starts to make his way to his feet, holding his eyes. Punk quickly gets up and tackles Seth in and onto and over the announce table. Punk then lays in a few more punches before Seth starts laying in some punches to into Punk's midsection. As it seems like Punk is in control, Seth grabs the papers off the announce table and throws them into Punk's face. Punk, now blinded, gets tackled by Seth into the timekeeper's area. Uh, Seth, though, seems done with trading punches and gets up and grabs a chair. Seth stares down at Punk for a moment before going to swing. As the chair is above Seth's head, he looks over to see Paul basically begging him to show mercy. This moment of distraction allows Punk to get up and low blow Seth. Punk then grabs a chair himself and swings it across the back of Seth. Punk doesn't seem satisfied with just one shot though, as he basically wears the chair out, hitting Seth across the back with it. He then picks him up and basically just drags him back towards the ring. Punk throws Seth in, and Punk looks over to Paul and just gives him a subtle nod before sliding back in. As he slides back in, Seth quickly gets up and hits the rope and goes for a curb stomp, but Punk manages to slide out of the ring just before Seth can connect. Seth leans against the ropes and tells Punk that it was this close to being over. Seth then backs up and invites Punk back into the ring. Punk slowly enters the ring, and both men slowly make their way towards the center before locking up once again. They once again find themselves in a corner. Seth manages to win the exchange, and Punk gets on the top rope. Seth then pulls Punk off the top into a powerbomb position and charges across the ring and nails a buckle bomb into an opposite corner. Seth then goes for the cover, but only gets a count of two. He collects himself and decides to go up top himself now. As he is about to dive off, Paul Heyman starts yelling at him. Seth argues back before Punk charges in and punches Seth in the gut before climbing up with him. Punk and Seth exchange some blows before Punk smashes Seth's head against the turnbuckle, um, and then Punk gets Seth into position for a Pepsi plunge before jumping off and connecting with it. Punk goes for the cover, but Seth now manages to get his shoulder up at two. Punk decides to waste no time and picks Seth up and connects with the GTS. He goes for the cover. One, two, kick out. Punk, now frustrated this has not put Seth away, looks over to Paul, who is sliding in a chair. Punk slowly crawls over to the chair and picks himself up and the chair up with him. He then awaits Seth to get to his feet. Once he does, Punk goes swinging for Rollins' head, but Rollins manages to duck out of the way. When Punk turns around, Seth catches him with a super kick, sending the chair back into his own face. Punk drops the chair and falls down to his hands and knees. Seth backs up for a curb stomp before looking at the chair, then back to Punk. Seth slowly walks out of the corner, picks up the chair, and now he awaits Punk to get to his feet. And once Punk does, Seth swings as hard as he can and cracks Punk over the top of the head with the chair. Seth relishes this moment of revenge before putting the chair under Punk's face and backing up. Heyman is on the outside begging for Seth not to do this, but Seth doesn't even pay him any mind as the moment Punk starts picking himself up, Seth charges in and nails a curb stomp on top of the chair. Seth then rolls Punk over and covers him. One, two, three.
Bye bye, Paul Heyman.
Bye bye, Paul Heyman. Bye bye, CM Punk.
Nice, I get Punk now. What do I do with him? Who knows? Where the women's tag match at? All right, this one's kind of long. Just because there's so much fucking bodies. Okay, let's do this. The bell rings. Everyone is just looking around to see who make the first move. Then all the teams look at Naya and Tamina. Everyone rushes them simultaneously. The two powerhouses of the match. Naya gets pushed to the outside by Tiffany, Dakota, Naomi, and Dakota. While in the ring, Bliss, Mercedes, and Io are working on Tamina. This truce doesn't work for long though, as Mercedes is quick to hit Bliss with a Monet Maker. Io sees that she's probably next, so she hits Mercedes with a springboard dropkick before taunting to the crowd. Tiffany sees what's happening in the ring, so she tries to go back to help Bliss. Naomi stops her and gets in her face. She's yelling that they need to take Nia out of the picture. Tiffany starts walking to the ring again. When Naomi pushes her directly into Dakota, Dakota gets up and starts getting in Naomi's face, but as soon as she does, Tiffany's back up and starts attacking them both. We get a massive three-person hockey fight before we see Nia stand up in the background. She starts charging all three of them. She bulldozes them all over and she gets back into the ring. Uh, Nia and not Nia. Tamina and Io are going at it. and so are Mercedes and Bliss in the ring. Nia goes straight for Io, knocks her down, tells Tamina to hold her in place while she hits her with an annihilator. Once she's done with that, they target Mercedes and Bliss. Bliss is the first to fall. They want to savor the beating of Mercedes. Nia yelling at her, "This is the last time you steal a member of the bloodline," while she's just pounding her with lefts and rights. Tiffany gets back up and starts charging Nia. Nia, however, just grabs her and throws her over the top rope back to the outside. Dakota comes in, goes for Tamina, and she's able to hit a chiropractor on her. She stands up and gets knocked out by Nia. Nia starts to pick up Tamina when Naomi runs in and hits a rear view on Tamina. Nia goes for Naomi when Bliss takes Nia's legs out from under her. Both Nia and Tamina are laid out. Tiffany gets in the ring on one corner, and the other corner, Io is there. They both climb to the top. Io hits her moonsault on Nia. Tiffany hits her moonsault on Tamina. Io can't even get up as soon as she Io can't even get up as soon as she gets what? Io can't even get up though because as soon as she hit what? Okay, hold on. All right, this is what I'm trying to say. Io can't get up as soon as she hit Nia with over the moonsault. She turns she rolls off of her and gets hit with a twisted bliss. Uh, and she rolls out the ring. Bliss climbs to the top again, hits a twisted bliss on a downed Tamina, and goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Tiffany and Bliss win. Yay. Uh, and still women's tag team champions Alexa Bliss and Tiffany Stratton. All right, Tiffany
Let's
and Bliss
go Tiffany Bliss
celebrate.
time.
Oh, we're not done. Tiffany and Bliss celebrate all the way to the ramp. In the ring, we see Tamina slowly getting back to her feet. Naya's up, cursing her out for not kicking out. Tamina is all the way to her feet now when Naya starts putting her finger on Tamina, pointing, saying, "You are always the reason we lose. For once, I'm begging you to do your job." Tamina's taking it fine until she sees the outside the ring where Naomi and Mercedes are looking at her, tell her to fight back. Finally, Tamina has enough. She takes Naya's finger and twists it around. With Naya distracted, Tamina hits a massive headbutt on her. Naomi and Mercedes enter the ring. All three of them start beating down Nia Jax. Tamina climbs up top and hits her finisher on Nia. We end the segment with the shot of Team Bad reunited once again.
Okay.
Bianca versus Jade. Bianca and Jade face off one last time on the biggest stage possible. With Bianca's WrestleMania streak on the line, the bell rings and we're off. Straight away, Jade overpowers Bianca to the corner until the ref tells her to get off of her. Jade slowly backs away. Bianca takes advantage by whipping Jade with her hair. The ref gets on Bianca saying she can't use that. Bianca now gets the upper hand by attacking Jade from behind. She quickly tries to hit Jade with a KOD. She goes to hit it, but Jade lands on her feet. Jade hits a clothesline and goes for a quick cover, kick out before one. Jade clearly didn't think that would get the win, just trying to get the psychological advantage. Bianca looks stunned once she kicks out, realizing just how serious this match is. She quickly gets up to attack Jade, but is met with a massive big boot. Bianca goes rolling out the ring. The ref starts counting. At the count of 5, Jade has enough and decides to go out after her. She starts charging Bianca, but Bianca moves last minute. We see that while Bianca was outside, she tied her hair to something under the ring. Jade sees this too late, so when Bianca moves out the way, Jade trips over her hair and lands face first onto the steel steps. Bianca quickly undoes her hair and is back on the attack. She hits a massive drop kick onto Jade against the stairs. Bianca then picks up Jade for a KOD. She hits the KOD onto the stairs and quickly moves Jade into the ring. Cover. One, two, kick out. Jade starts to recover while getting up. Bianca rolls up. Uh, while getting up, Bianca goes for a roll up. One, two, Jade reverses into a roll up of her own. One, two, Bianca reverses into another roll up. One, two, Jade kicks out. They both stand up. Bianca goes for a massive swing. Jade ducks, puts Bianca in position for Jaded and hits it. One, two, kick out. Both women start getting up slowly, face to face, forehead to forehead. They're standing up, and Bianca throws the first punch. Boo! The crowd cheers as Bianca connects. Yeah! They cheer as Jade connects. Ah, boo! Ah, yeah! Boo! 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 Yeah! Jade hits a massive punch. Bianca's on her knees. Jade crouches and says, "You did this to yourself. Your streak is mine now." She picks up Bianca and hits Jaded one more time. One, two, three. Jade Cargill wins again. Or not again, but again.
She wins. The matchup that's going to happen like 2 years down the line for us when Jade and Cora go toe to toe to see who deserves the rights to Jaded as their finisher name.
Oh, I'm not keeping Jade.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Cool. it's, it's,
Okay.
Alrighty, we move into the four-way U.S. title match between Ilya Dragunov, Andrade, Bobby Lashley, and Braun Breaker. As the bell rings, you see both Bobby Lashley and Braun Breaker charge across the ring and spear Ilya and Andrade. Both men then get up and pace around the ring before locking up. They attempt to push one another back, but are just stuck in a stalemate in the middle of the ring before Braun shoves Bobby to the ground. Braun then flexes down at Bobby. Bobby eventually makes his way back to his feet and they lock up once again. This time, Bobby shoves Braun down to the ground and flexes towards him. Braun slowly gets up and both men just start trading punches. Bobby eventually tries to hit a big clothesline, but Braun ducks and goes to hit the ropes. But Andrade is up on the outside and swipes Braun's feet. Andrade then pulls him out as Ilya slides in behind Bobby and attacks him. In the ring, we see Ilya beat down on Lashley with forearms until Lashley is laying down on the mat. On the outside, you see Andrade throw Braun into the barricade and starts throwing some punches. Braun eventually powers out and throws Andrade back into the apron. Braun then goes to start throwing punches, but Andrade dodges and smashes Braun's head against the apron. Braun then staggers back, and Andrade gets up on the apron. And right as Andrade is about to charge at Braun, Ilya hits the ropes and knocks Andrade down. Ilya bounces off the ropes and connects with a diving headbutt to Bobby Lashley back in the ring. Ilya then backs up into the corner and seems to signal for the H-bomb, but before he can start heading towards Bobby, Braun Breaker gets up on the apron and clotheslines Ilya into the corner. Braun hits several clotheslines before Ilya collapses down and Braun enters the ring. Braun sees that Bobby is starting to make his way to his feet, and as he does, Braun charges in for a spear. Bobby manages to jump over the spear, and Braun hits the corner. Braun then slowly turns around, and Bobby picks him up to go for a Dominator. Bobby picks him up, turns around towards hard cam when Andrade charges across the ring and connects with a spinning back elbow. Braun gets dropped and immediately charges across the ring and hits the ropes. As he is diving through the air for the spear, Ilya catches him mid-air with a diving headbutt. Ilya goes to get up, but Andrade grabs him and hits him with a message. Andrade goes for the cover. One, two. Bobby Lashley reaches in and pulls Andrade to the outside, breaking up the pin. Bobby and Andrade start brawling until Bobby throws Andrade over the barricade. Andrade gets up and starts brawling with Bobby over the barricade as Bobby's on one side and Andrade's on the other side of the barricade until Andrade rakes Bobby's eyes. Bobby turns around and is caught with a spear from Braun Breaker through the barricade. Both Bobby and the barricade land on top of Andrade, also taking him out. Braun recovers and re-enters the ring where Ilya tries to catch him with yet another diving headbutt, but Braun sidesteps, hits the ropes, and connects with a massive spear. Braun then goes for the cover. One, two, Ilya kicks out. Braun starts slapping himself in the head before picking up Ilya and seemingly going for a suplex before pile driving him down, hitting a Steiner screwdriver, and covering Ilya. One, two, three. Braun Breaker wins back the U.S. title.
God damn. Main event time. Ooh, what's gonna happen? All right, let's do this. Cena makes his way to the ring first. The cheers of the crowd could be heard from across the country. They want Cena to win 17. Out next is Randy. He's walking out with Ric Flair by his side. By his side? By his side. The crowd boos loudly. He's also trying to get 17, looking more focused and deadly than ever. Will he be able to connect with a punt kick for the victory tonight and outlast the WWE champion Gunther? Will he be able to do what he said he would? Can he stack both Randy and Cena, forcing them both to retire? Can he even retain his title in a triple threat? Only time will tell. We get the announcements in the ring. Every man looks focused. After everything they've been through this year, it's all led to this. Cena becoming a Grand Slam champion, Randy winning the world title twice, and Gunther winning Money in the Bank. The bell rings. All men just stare at each other for a bit, waiting to see who will make the first move. Finally, Gunther does. He hits a massive chop on Randy that sends him out of the ring immediately. We now just have a face-off between Gunther and Cena. Gunther telling him to enjoy the moment because it's the last WrestleMania he'll ever have. Cena has enough of this and hits his signature taunt, the "You can't see me." He goes for a massive punch, but Gunther was ready for it, dodging out of the way and hitting Cena with a chop. Randy gets back in the ring and starts jumping Gunther from behind, laying a bunch of lefts and rights into his kidneys. Cena gets up and starts hitting Randy with lefts and rights. Randy, being overwhelmed, doesn't know what to do, so in a fit of desperation, he hits an RKO on Cena. He goes for the cover. One, two. Gunther pulls him off. Right away, Gunther puts him in a sleeper hold. Randy panicking, looking for a way out, but can't find it. He starts yelling at Rick to do something. Rick is hesitant. Randy's yelling at him even louder to get him a kendo stick. Rick finally goes under the ring and gets it and sheepishly hands it to him. Randy starts unloading behind him to get Gunther to break the hold, but it's not working. So he grabs the stick's end and starts shoving it into Gunther's eye. Gunther has no choice but to let go. Gunther, blinded, gets to his feet, turns around, and he gets hit with an RKO. Randy goes for the cover. One, two. Cena pulls off Randy and puts him in an STF. Randy once again yelling at Rick for help. At the same time, Cena is telling Rick that he doesn't have to do it. Rick is conflicted and he doesn't do anything fast enough. Randy, reaching for a kendo stick that was thrown in earlier, finally gets it and starts unloading on Cena. Cena breaks the hold, and Randy hits him with an RKO and rolls out the ring. He looks directly at Rick, yelling, "I told you, next time you screw me over, you're dead." Rick is pleading with him not to do anything, but it's too late. Randy throws Rick in the ring and follows him in there. Rick gets up and he gets hit with an RKO. Randy says that's not enough. Then he starts setting up in the corner, his eyes filled with bloodlust, ready to punt the head off Rick. He starts rushing in. When Cena runs in right in front of Randy and easily he's able to get him up to AA position. He hits Randy with an AA. One, two. Gunther pulls off Cena. He kicks him in the gut. He picks him up for a power bomb in the middle of the ring, and he hits it. Gunther looks around. He sees Randy laying right next to Cena. His eyes widen. This is his chance. He quickly deadlifts Cena on his shoulders one more time. He hits a power bomb on top of Randy. He goes for the cover on top of them both. One, two, kick out by both men. Rick is screaming at John to get up. Randy is up to his feet first. Him and Gunther start going at it. Gunther takes Randy down and goes to the outside for a weapon, a steel chair. He starts bringing it to the ring when Randy kicks the middle rope as Gunther's entering. He gets low blowed with it. Gunther lets go of the chair. Randy moves it into position. Gunther gets hit with a draping DDT onto the chair. Randy turns and sees Rick still trying to get Cena up. Cena, now on his knees, isn't looking good. Randy turns to Rick and says, "You gave up you gave up us for him? He doesn't care about you. He left you behind." Randy now focuses his anger onto Cena, picking him up and hitting him with an RKO. Randy covers. One, two. Randy lets go. He's shaking his head. No. This is on you, Rick. You did this to him. Randy gets up. He goes to the corner. Rick is yelling at Cena to leave the ring. Cena doesn't know where he is anymore. Once he gets on all fours, Randy charges and hits Cena with a punt. Randy smiling as he goes for the cover. One. Kick out! The arena erupts. Randy can't believe it. Rick can't believe it. Randy gets up to see Cena still down, not fully up yet. He quickly rushes to the corner again, and he runs as fast as he can to hit another punt on him. Randy isn't taking any chances this time. He goes back to the corner and does it a third time. Randy tells Rick, one more. He goes to the corner, setting up for the final punt. The crowd is dead silent now, uncomfortable with what they're watching. Once Cena is up enough, Randy rushes in one last time. But out of nowhere, he's caught with a super kick. The crowd erupts. It's Jey Uso. We see him say, "I said I would make this right." Jey goes to the corner, lighting up Randy. He hits him with a spear. He climbs to the top rope. He hits an Uso splash. Jey grabs a kendo stick in the ring and starts beating Randy all the way up the ramp. Gunther is back up. Cena's barely able to get to his feet. Gunther hits Cena with a power bomb. One, two, kick out. But it isn't over. Gunther transitions to a Boston Crab in the middle of the ring. Nowhere left to go. Cena has nothing left. We see Rick going to help Cena when Cena tells him no. Not like that. Cena gave it all he had this year, but it wasn't enough. John Cena taps out. Here is your winner and still WWE Champion, Gunther. Gunther celebrates in the ring. Not only did he just successfully retain his championship in the main event of WrestleMania, but he also retired the greatest of all time. After Gunther's done celebrating, he goes to Cena, who is just sitting in the corner of the ring. Gunther extends his hand. Cena takes it. Gunther brings him to his feet. Gunther lifts John Cena's hands in the air. They shake hands one more time. Gunther leaves the ring. Rick goes in. Cena and Rick hug. Cena takes off his armbands, leaves them in the middle of the ring as we close the show.
Wow.
That was the plan from the very beginning.
You had that
I
plan from the
lied.
very beginning.
I lied to you when I said I didn't know who was gonna win. That's why I gave Cena the Grand Slam. I knew he wasn't winning 17. Cinema.
Absolute cinema. Cinema.
Jay gets his revenge. I have a feeling that story is not done yet, though.
Time for me to take Jey Uso.
No, no, no. He's champion.
Oh yeah, he does have a title, doesn't he? Okay. Way to go, Roman. Open the year and close the year with the tag titles.
Honestly. Safe recent game.